Hi and welcome to my channel. So I'm going to be talking about a very important topic today, which is the NHS pension. And in case you're wondering what the NHS is, so it is the National Health Service in the UK, which is currently the largest employer in the UK and one of the largest in the world, employing millions of people with the most diverse staff from, so many different countries. And for the NHS, we're not only talking about nurses, carers, doctors, like I always say, they employ both clinical and non-clinical staff. So there's IT, all different sectors you can apply to work for the NHS. If you're out of the UK, this is as relevant for you as somebody who is in the UK because they offer visa sponsorship, free visa sponsorship. They're currently offering so many bonuses for new staff that are joining. So you 100% want to check out the NHS if you're not currently working for them. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the NHS pension. Basically, how much do you pay in? How much does the NHS pay in? Who can join? What do you get out of it? What are the advantages? Like I've said, it is the best pension in the UK, as well as if anything happens to you before the pension age, what happens to the money that you've paid in? Because that's something that is very, very important. So if you're new to my channel, obviously you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, I absolutely appreciate your time. And look, while I appreciate that, this may be something that you're like, oh my God, pension, but look, it is very vital information and you 100% want to watch this video till the very end so that you understand every single thing about the NHS pension. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I do want to hit that subscribe button so you're the first to be notified every single day when I drop a new video on here. And I do have a free newsletter where I send information about free visa sponsorship opportunities to move to the UK or to switch your visa if you're already in the UK, work from home jobs that you can do, earn a lot of money without experience, without any degree, qualifications or certification, as well as, starting your own side hustle so that you can make a lot of money and retire early. Look, I'm on a mission to retire before I'm 40 years old so that if I'm working after 40, it is a choice, not because I'm broke or not because I'm not able to sustain myself. And career progression is something that I'm particularly passionate about. So, as someone who started my journey in the UK as a carer working in a nursing home to then studying nursing and progressing to the most senior clinical nursing position, working for the NHS now as an advanced nurse practitioner, I live and breathe career progression. And by the way, I do support, with all the things that I've mentioned. So if you check the comment section below, I've dropped a link to my free newsletter. Once you join that newsletter, I send that info directly to your inbox. So the newsletter is not going to take you 20 seconds to join. You drop your name and email, and I send that info directly to your inbox as it becomes available. So let's get started. So what is the NHS pension? Look, the best thing about the NHS pension is that it comes as a private pension, which means that if you're working in the UK, you're going to be paying your national insurance, which is the government pension. So that's the state pension when you retire at the age of 67, whatever age it is. If you work for the NHS pension is a second pension. So, which means that when you eventually retire from working in the UK, if you're working for the NHS, obviously, you're going to have two different pensions. And that's why working for the NHS is such a big advantage, because people that retire after working with the NHS for many years, they earn a lot of money. In fact, some people actually earn more than what they were earning when they were working. So you want to make sure that, you're aware of that. And if you're part of, if you're in the UK right now, you're applying for jobs, please do consider getting jobs with the NHS. And I've shared videos on here on how to apply for jobs with the NHS. So please just check out this channel. And also, I want you to leave any comments in the comment section as I go along. If there are any questions, anything that I'm not covering, you're thinking, oh my God, Melvis, what about this? What about that? Again, I'm more than happy, obviously, to share that information with you. So leave your comments in the comment section and I'll be able to join you there. So the first thing about the NHS pension is that the NHS pays in 20.6% every single time for you, which means that the more you earn, obviously, the more the NHS is going to put in for you, and also the more you're going to pay. Just to put this into perspective, if you are, say, a healthcare assistant for the NHS, you're going to be paying 5% into the pension, so 5% of your salary will be going towards your pension, and then the NHS will put in 20.6%. If you are somebody who is, say, a qualified nurse, for example, you're going to be paying about 7 to 9% into your pension, and the NHS will be paying in 20.6% for you. That's free. And then also, like me, for example, just to give an example, I currently work for the NHS. I've been in the pension for about the last 10 years now. And working as an advanced nurse practitioner, it is a very senior nursing position, which means that because I earn a lot of money, I also pay a lot more into the pension. So my NHS pension is currently about 13% every single month, which means that of my total salary, I pay in 13% towards my pension. So you can see that it is a very large amount. But if you also compare the fact that the NHS is paying 20.6% of how much I earn into my pension, you can see that already I have a lot of money in my pension pot when it comes to that NHS pension. So that's basically how it works. The more you earn, the more you put in, but also the more the NHS pays. And that's why I go on about career progression. And by the way, career progression is something that is absolutely vital. When I moved to the UK and I was working as a carer in a nursing home, I realized that the NHS was the best option because I was working in a nursing home, did domiciliary care, I did support work, I did all sorts of carer jobs, and I found out about the NHS, like, oh my god, I definitely need to work for the NHS. So I applied, and that's why I've now got 10 years of experience working for the NHS. And by the way, I have a private career coaching program where I support nurses, carers, students, student nurses, people that want to get into healthcare, clinical, non-clinical healthcare jobs. You're looking for free visa sponsorship opportunities to move to the UK or to switch your visa from within the UK. I support with all of that through my private coaching program. We'll have a one-to-one session, go through your personal circumstances, what's best for you, how do you proceed, what are the jobs that you can apply for, who is recruiting, where do you apply, how do you apply, what about your CV, make sure that it's well optimized, what about interview preparation. You're going to have, access to all the resources that you need in order to move forward. If you're a qualified nurse, for example, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, how do I progress in my nursing career? How do I get into senior positions, specialist nursing, advanced nurse practitioner, nurse anesthetist, nurse endoscopy, specialist nurse? Again, I can support you with that journey, with those different pathways. If you are a carer currently in the UK, but you are a nurse back home or a midwife and you want to join the NMC, you're like, oh my God, I'm tired of this carer job. I want to get into nursing. I can support you with that journey. To register with the NMC without IELTS or OET, as you know, there are new pathways that the NMC has introduced. So if you check the description box below or the about section of this YouTube channel, you're going to find a link to my private coaching program. Once you join, then we get started. And look, if you're watching this video right now, that program is going to be perfect for you so that you get that tailored, individualized, and personalized guidance that you need, without which success in the UK is very difficult. Because the truth is, your friends, family, colleagues may want to support you, but people don't have time. The problem in the UK is that everybody's busy. Nobody's got time to follow up with you, even if they want to. And that's why I dedicate my time through my private coaching program to support colleagues that want to move to the UK or those that are already in the UK with their career progression, switching jobs. You want to work for the NHS, I'm your girl. Because, having worked for the NHS for the last 10 years and progressed beautifully to the most senior nursing position, look, I know a lot about the NHS. So again, I'll guide you through that journey to success. So you want to make sure that you join that program. So that's one of the things. So basically, every single person that applies to work for the NHS is automatically enrolled onto the NHS pension, which means that once you're successful, you get an interview, you get a job with the NHS, you're automatically going to be part of the pension. But there is a catch. You can leave the pension if you choose. I do not advise that you leave, but obviously it's your choice and you can leave the pension. Remember that if the NHS is paying 20.6% and you leave, you're actually losing out, even though you feel that you're saving what you're paying, but actually you're losing because the NHS pays in more than you are actually paying. So it's not worth leaving. So anytime that you leave, you always lose out, but you're free to leave. And one thing I'm also going to say is that if you leave the pension within 2 years of joining, you can get all your money back. If you leave the pension after 2 years, you're not able to take the money back that you've already paid in. That money has to stay until you get to the right age that you can retire before you take the money. And also, like I said, remember, we're going to talk about what happens to you. What happens to your pension if anything happens to you, for example, or you're no longer alive? What happens to all the money that you've paid in or that the NHS has paid in on your behalf? Because the NHS also has a system that this pension also works as a life assurance kind of policy. Life assurance means that if anything happens to you or you're no longer living while you're working for the NHS, that money is paid to your spouse. For example, let's say if you're married, the money automatically is paid to your spouse. But if you don't want the money to be paid to your spouse, you can actually nominate somebody that you want to take that money. Let's say, for example, you want your son or your daughter or your mom, dad, whoever, instead of your spouse, you need to actually nominate somebody. So you need to log in to My NHS Pension and you actually write the name and the details of that person so that if anything happens to you, the NHS will contact that person directly and pay them a lump sum. It is a lot of money that is paid. So if you want to nominate somebody, you need to make sure that it is a reasonable person that is going to be worthy of spending that money in a way that you would want them to spend the money, basically, because it is a lot of money that the NHS pays. If you're working for the NHS and anything happens to you, they'll contact the nominated person and pay that money to them. And like I've said, it is a lot of money that is paid. Many people unfortunately don't know about this, but that is how the NHS pension works. In case if anything happens to you, obviously, and you have been part of the NHS pension. Also, let's talk about when can you take the pension out. So the earliest time you can take the pension out, if you've been paying for more than 2 years like myself, is when you're at the age of 55. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you do want to hit that subscribe button so that you're the first to be notified every single day when I drop a new video on here. Also, if you like this content, I want you to hit that like button. It lets me know that you enjoy content like this, and obviously I should do more. And please do share this with your friends, loved ones, family, colleagues, so that they're aware of the advantages that the NHS pension has, and it can obviously encourage more people to stay in, because the NHS actually pays in more than you are doing. I'm saying this because I know that most of the people, like many people, have left the pension because with the financial crisis, people are like, hey, if I leave, I'm going to earn a little bit more, but actually you're losing out on really, really valuable amounts of money. So, like I was saying, anybody can obviously join. Everybody joins automatically. Obviously, you can leave. The earliest time you can take the pension is when you're 55 years old. If you take it at 55, you're going to have reduced payments because the NHS has to pay you for longer. And the good thing is that if you take your NHS pension at the age of 55, you can still carry on working. So you don't need to change your job. You don't need to do anything. They'll be paying your pension and you just carry on your same job, but they're going to be paying you a little bit less than if you had retired at the age of, say, I don't know, 67. And that's because you're taking it earlier, so you're going to be paid for a longer period of time. Me, for example, that I've been in a pension for 10 years already, if by the time I get to 55, I would have been, to be honest, I hoped I would have retired, but then I don't want to see myself as a 55-year-old working as a nurse for the NHS. With all due respect, NHS, I love working with you, but look, I'm on a mission to retire as soon as possible. And that's why I dedicate my time to diversifying my income streams. I've got 2 side hustles, like, in fact, side businesses that I do. They are pretty successful. And so, and that's because I don't want to be working for a very long time, because I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy my kids, enjoy my family, get to just travel, do the things that I want to do without all the limitations that come with having a permanent job for a very long time. So like I said, if you're keen on any of these, you want to check out my newsletter below. Is completely free, and join so that I can also share that info with you. But if you need that tailored, individualized and personalized support, 100% consider joining my private coaching program, where I can guide you with that journey so that we can share those ideas. If you're thinking of side hustles, career progression, look, it is going to be well worth it. And that's why I always say the first thing you need to focus on is career progression. Vital, because when you progress in your career, you earn a lot more. You don't have to work extra hours. That gives you more time to think. That gives you a better quality of people to interact with. You have better ideas, and that is going to help you that even if you're setting up a business, you're likely to be more successful because you've got money to be able to invest in your business. You've got people at that higher level that you're interacting with that are going to give you ideas as well. That's why career progression is very important. And that's why if you can progress in your career, it's going to help you to be more successful in any business as well, because your networking, the skills that you learn, your abilities, your language, everything is just so much better than if you're, say, in a junior position, you're struggling, you're working so many extra shifts. That's why I focus so much on career progression. So Leave a comment in the comment section below. Are you currently in the UK? What are you doing? What's your main goal right now? Are you out of the UK? What's your main objective right now? You know, if you could have your dream job or position, what would that be? Again, if you need that guidance, I can support you with that journey. Watch the other videos I've done on this channel. And if you want NHS jobs, again, like I said, I'm your girl. Watch this video because it's absolutely mind blowing.